Hello, beautiful people. Namaste, everyone. Today's video is for Mercury's transit in the sign of Taurus. So, this is going to be one important transit after leaving the domain of the sign of Aries, and of course, after leaving way behind the cluster of so many planets in Pisces. Okay, so Mercury is going to transit on 23rd of May 2025 and till 6th of June 2025, it is going to stay in the sign of Taurus. So let's just quickly understand what it is going to mean. But before that, if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it and hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates. Also, if you would like to have your personal readings from me, you can check out the link below in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the reading and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Also, there are courses available through which you can learn the basics of astrology and you will be fully assisted through the learning process. Okay, so let's get started with Mercury in the sign of Taurus. So, before we dive into the transit, we first need to understand what is the meaning of Mercury in the sign of Taurus. So, as to understand that, we need to know the meaning of Mercury and the meaning of the sign of Taurus. So, Mercury is the planet or karka of the third house and the sixth house. Like it naturally rules the third and the sixth house with the zodiac signs as Gemini and Virgo. It is the karka of communication. It is responsible for one's intellect, one's understanding, one's adaptability, and the minute emotions that you see in an individual, that is actually Mercury. The signals that our brain gets, any sort of signals, that is Mercury. Our nervous system is Mercury. Mercury is not just restricted to communications. It is about numbers. It's about technology. It's about technical skills. It's about, whenever you do calculations, you work with finances so as to be an expert in any domain, be it you are a lawyer, be it you are a medical profession practitioner, you are a CA, you are a chartered accountant, you are even a CEO. Your Mercury will play a very, very, very important role in your expertise. Okay, so that's how important Mercury is. Mercury is most of the time overlooked by many astrologers or many people in general also. But Mercury holds the greatest weightage. It is a very wobbly planet and a very overlooked planet, but this energy can mess up very hugely, and it can maintain things very hugely as well. Okay, so Mercury is also the way you perceive things, the way you understand things. Right now, the universe is putting this Mercury into the sign of Taurus, which is the natural second house. We know the second house is about finances, income. It is about our lifestyle, our possessions, our materialistic desires. It's about the money, the savings, the income, the family relationship. It is also about our vocal cord, how we speak, what do you wish to eat, what do you wish to drink. That is the second house. How do you talk about your finances, your status, or financial growth? That is the second house. What do you value? What are your traditions? All of this is the second house. Now you are putting the planet of intellect and communication in this sign. Also, one very important thing about the sign of Taurus, Taurus is a fixed sign. It's a earth sign. It is a grounded and practical sign. So definitely when we have Mercury's transit in the sign of Taurus, things are going to be slower than they were earlier. Why I'm saying so? Because now Mercury is shifting from the sign of Aries to the sign of Taurus, from the fire sign to the ground, to the earth sign. So now it's like that Mercury has given its impulsiveness, it has given its competitiveness, its sudden impulsive decisions. Now it's the time to slow down. Now it's the time to stick what is in the present, to stick what is available in the front. One thing you guys will understand with Taurus individuals are not, they want to be secure. Okay, they want stability, they want security, be it be in emotions, be it be in finances, be it be in anywhere in their life. They do want that. So stability, groundedness, and slowness is a part of the sign of Taurus. They don't want to go straight away, to something. They don't want to go straight away like a fire. They don't want to spread like fire. They want something that they can value. They want something that might be slow and stable, but that is worthy of their appreciation, that is valued. So that's why when Mercury is transiting in the sign of Taurus, this is a fixed sign. They don't like change. They absolutely do not like change. When Mercury comes in the sign of Taurus, it's like your intellect, you just grab things in a way where you set your ideas, you set your opinions towards certain subjects, and you just stay fixed at it. You're not welcoming new ideas. You're not welcoming anything new out of that box, right? Because you have gone through that trying of different things in the sign of Aries. Now it's the time to work around with what you have. So, of course, with Mercury in the sign of Taurus, there is less adaptability. There are less changes. There are slow processes. So things might move in a slower and stable way. And also, when Mercury is in the sign of Taurus, people try to evaluate a situation with total depth. It's not like Aries, where a person just understands one thing and just reacts upon it. It's about understanding what is happening, listening to what is happening, thinking about it by oneself, weighing the pros and the cons, and then moving ahead with any change. So, what does all of this do? This takes time. This slows down that process, but the foundation becomes stable and stronger. That is what is there about Mercury being in the sign of Taurus. Now, Mercury in the second house, it will make people talk about finances, financial growth, budgeting finances, because it is the second house, and then it is also it is the second house, and it is the sign of finances. Also, one thing came into my mind just now, that anytime this Mercury gets influenced by the 10th lord, 10th house, and since we are going to have the third aspect of Saturn also here, you can even be questioned upon your finances. You can be questioned upon your possessions. So things like this can also happen. And regarding the war situation that happened between India and Pakistan, it was not exactly war, but something does initiate it. Now, when we talked about this in the video of Mercury in the sign of Aries, it was quite evident there that there is a tit for tat energy, there's a competitive energy, there's a very childish energy there. But now I think people are going to, like politicians specifically, whether they are Indians or they are Pakistanis, they are going to weigh the pros and cons. They are going to value their relationships with the other countries. Because of that, they might want to settle the situation, or there might be mediators who would come in, although Trump did come in, but nothing worked out there. But still, my motive of telling this here is that it's not a tit for tat energy anymore. It's rather a very political energy here, a fixed energy here. Some some part of it can be fixed, like one of the leaders can decide already what they need to do and they can stick to it. They can be like, I'm not welcoming any change in my decision. It could be that scenario as well. But I think all of the decisions are going to be backed up with practicality and with not specifically futuristic goal, but future relationships, taking in consideration the future relationships. Okay. Now, the very important thing with with Mercury in the sign of Taurus is the influence of the planet Venus on Mercury. So you will see Mercury in Taurus individuals, they are so big diplomats. They are so good with their communication. They know what to say, when to say, to just mark their point, to make the other person understand what they are trying to say. They also have a very good way of making others understand, and they are extremely intelligent as well. They are, I won't say they are quick learners, but they are the learners who are going to learn any subject in a very creative way, and also understand things which are more creative and which are more valuable. Mercury is detail oriented. So when it comes in the sign of Taurus, you go into details of everything. You go into details of each and every relationship, each and every encounter that you have, each and every money transaction that you make. And definitely they have a very lustful nature, and they have a very lustful taste as well. Lustful as in terms of food. They are foodie. They value their culture, their cultural food. They value their cultural traditions, ethics. They are very prominent and they are very observant with all of those things. Mercury in the sign of Taurus can also make a person quite boastful about their wealth, right? But of course, if Venus is somehow connected with Saturn, it is suggested not to boast about it, or else you might, have that nazar kind of situation with yourself. Okay, so Venus, I don't know why I'm keep on saying Venus. So Mercury in the sign of Taurus is going to give you n number of results, but when it comes to transit, it is going to make a person involved into aesthetic, into beauty, into valuing arts, valuing the details, into arts, calculations, budgeting, financial decisions, financial consultancy, traditions, cultures, everything that is associated with the second house. And since this is the third lord, the lord of Gemini, it is the natural sixth lord, the lord of Virgo. So it's like the third and the sixth lords are going into the second house. That means that you are going to have more of communication, and you are going to have more of communication about exchanges, about lifestyle, about nutrition, about everyday lifestyle, about everyday changes, financial debts, financial goals, all of these things. Okay, so let's just get into the Muhurata chart so that we can better understand how this Mercury's transit is going to affect everyone. So we have the Muhurata chart to be the sign of Leo. So these are going to be the predictions for the zodiac sign of Leo. If your ascendant or your moon sign is Leo, then this is going to be for you. And also this is the Muhurata chart for everyone. So this basically is going to tell us about the theme of this transit of Mercury in Taurus. Okay, just give me 1 second. So first of all, the Muhurta chart. So this Muhurta chart is telling us that Mercury is in the 10th house along with Sun, definitely creating a Budh Aditya Yoga. And also, since it is conjunct to the first Lord, but this again, the association of Mercury with Sun at the point it comes into the sign, again attaches it to fixation. And along with fixation, it is like, Sun and Mercury being in the sign of Taurus is like that you hold a commanding position over your communication and over your ideas. So this is a very good combination where when a person is in a leadership position, but it is definitely not the best position or the transit for the people who are into following positions. Like, for example, if you work as an employee, right? So it can give you some sort of dominating behavior with with your bosses, which could create in some problems with them. And you'll be like that, it can even turn into something very blunt, because Mercury, when comes into the sign of Taurus, it becomes quite blunt with its speech. So the speech becomes very see, although Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? But it is sweet. Definitely it is sweet in nature, but when it comes to saying the truth, they can be brutally honest, especially with Sun along with that. And that too in the nakshatra of Kritika, it's like Leo individuals are just going to talk what is truth, whether it pierces your heart with that knife of Kritika, but they are going to talk what is the truth. So definitely this Mercury's transit talks about fixation. It talks about non-adaptability, being firm on one's stand and one's ideas, thinking all the positives and negatives about their actions, about their career. And also it talks about managing one's career, managing one's communication within the career. Okay, so it definitely, the fixation is not a bad fixation, I would say. This fixation is actually for some progress. This fixation is there because you want stability, you want security within your career. So since this is the theme, I can see many people are feeling confused. Many people are feeling clueless. That is because Ketu is in the first house in the sign of Leo. Many people are facing that, have been facing that low self-esteem and difficulty with their confidence and self-esteem because Ketu has entered the sign of Leo. This is the time definitely to go within and understand one's personality better, one's decisions better. But along with that, we also have Moon in the 8th house, along with Saturn and Venus. And then we have Mercury in the 10th house, right? And the Lord, the dispositor of Mercury, is going into the 8th house. It is exalted, of course, right? So the outcome of this command, outcome of this slowness, this stability is strong, is worthy, is transformative. But the process can be a little slow. The process can be a little cautious. Okay. So I definitely, people are confused. People are trying to settle up, have stability within their career, within their authority. So everyone is just going to have that focus and work towards it so as to complete it, so as to understand it better. So when it comes to the sign of Leo, Leo people are going to try on different it's not, I won't say try on, but there is going to be a little bit of instability within their career, because of which it is well required for them to put their foot down and to put their authority towards other people, that they cannot be taken granted for, they cannot be taken benefited from. I think you have started feeling that energy of Ketu within your ascendant, and because of that you have started feeling that maybe my value is being undermined, maybe my value is being compromised. So that's why, as a retaliation, I feel that Leo people are going to take a firm action towards something. They're not going to be influenced anymore. They're not going to be affected by others negativity anymore, and they are going to encounter that dominance with the authoritative figures, because they want to establish their own authority as well. So that is something you can expect with the transit of Mercury. It's about you observing the authoritativeness of other people over you, and then to mark a authority of yourself, that you can no longer take benefit from me. I am standing out tall, right? That is a kind of a situation that you can expect till 6th of June. Now, next we have the sign of Virgo. So for Virgos, Mercury is going in the ninth house. It has now come from the eighth house to the ninth house. Now you have had your battles, you have had your secret researches, you have had your secret, you know, let me just wear this. I think the reflection actually takes the toll in the video. Let me just put that away. Okay. So there has been a lot of secretive energy and energy going into defining secrets, understanding the instability of life. But now it's about you to understand what lessons you have had from this. This is your time to actually dive into spirituality and learn and understand the higher knowledge. Definitely Virgos, since Ketu is now away from your ascendant, Ketu has moved to your 12th house. Then Mercury is your ascendant lord, along with the 12th lord, along with the 10th lord, and the 12th lord as well is coming into the ninth house. This means whatsoever you are going to go forward with in terms of your career and in terms of your growth, you will have to have a pinch of research and a pinch of spirituality into it. This is your time to value your ethics. This is the time. And you know what? I do feel that Virgos will get an opportunity to be appreciated for their ethical actions during this time. So definitely, if that is the case, if any time you get a event where you have to show your generosity, you have to show your kindness, just please do that. I do feel this is a very lucky time for you, with Mercury moving in your 11th, moving in your ninth house. The confusion, the chaos is going to give you that respect, give you that, firmness and stability with your image. Okay, along with that, your moon is in the seventh house, and that is in the whole cluster. But this does tell that your mind is right now for the welfare of others. Your mind is quite in tuned with the others, whether it is your partner, whether it is your, whether it is other people. Although the burden is there, right? The burden, the isolation, the isolatedness is there, but along with that, there is a sense of helpfulness in the heart, right? There is sense of expectations in the heart as well. So it's a very combined and mixed emotions time for you people, but definitely this is a time that you can embrace and you can be benefited from in a good way. Now, next we have the sign of Libra. For Libra individuals, Mercury is in the eighth house. This is your time to actually budget or calculate your finances. Either it's your fixed assets, or it's your joint assets with your spouse, or even it could be your inheritance. It is your time to be dominating over your in laws and over your ancestors as well for some reason. right? So Mercury is the lord of your ninth house and your 12th house, and it is being conjunct with the lord of the 11th house. Everything is coming into the eighth house. So it's like there's going to be a sudden expense. There are going to be sudden changes, sudden travel, sudden shift of residence. So you can expect very sudden things, but definitely you are on a calculative side. You're calculating your losses, you're calculating your sudden changes, expenses, you're calculating the assets, the inheritance thing, and it could even make you strategize in the secrecy, like trying to play the card of politics in secrecy, something like that. But it could work really well with your disputes, because for Libra people, you are at the verge, actually this might have started early, but you definitely are into the time for at least 2 years from now, where you have to deal with conflicts. So this is your time to learn the lesson about the conflicts. You'll be researching, you'll be searching so much, you'll be calculating so much, you'll be giving yourself knowledge, so as to manage these things. So, and you will be definitely able to manage these things. It's just knowledge which is going to help you do that. Right now, next we have the sign of, and also for Libra ascendants, also for Libra people, you are going to dive into technical changes. You're going to research about technical advancements and technical changes, and creative, skillful changes, in fact. Okay, now going back to this Scorpio. So for Scorpio people, Mercury is coming into the seventh house. I feel Mercury in the seventh house is one of the strongest placements, although it is not directionally strong, but it makes a person extremely intelligent and extremely good at grasping the other. Mercury is the attention to details. So when Mercury is in the seventh house, you observe other people. I don't know if you can listen, my daughter shouting in the background, like she's shouting in towards the highest of her vocal cords. Trust me. I have voice noise cancellation AirPods, and even they are not able to cancel it out. I don't know if you guys are also able to hear that. If you are, I'm extremely sorry. So, okay, this is also one of the more omens and elements that Mercury, when comes in the sign of Taurus, oh my God. So as to put your words across, you either are totally bossy, you're totally blunt, or you shout, or no, it's not shout, but it's like I said what I said, this kind of a thing, right? So yeah. So Mercury in the seventh house is a very extremely intelligent Mercury. It's like you are observing other people, you're observing the other person, and then you frame your decisions like that. Your decisions are very much dependent on your encounters with people, and specifically your partner or your spouse, right? So Mercury here is the lord of your 11th house. It is the lord of your 8th house and the 10th house. All of that is coming into the 7th house. It can talk about promotion. It can talk about fame. It can be sudden promotion. If even you might not be expecting it, but you can have sudden promotion, or you can have sudden opportunities come to your way. But you will be very careful in accepting those opportunities. You'll be weighing all the pros and the cons before you accept those opportunities. You will have a very fun and sensual time with your partner, very fun, adventurous and sensual time with your partner, where both of you are going to the hotel by the pool. You guys are sitting, you're having that plunge pool into the in your room. That there's a hotel in Delhi which has that. So that is a kind of having date nights, having that good romantic time, right? That is going to be something you guys are going to experience, and your partner is going to actually act quite dominating, not just romantically but otherwise as well. Okay, and this is a good time if you want to start something of your own as a part of business. That could also be the promotion I'm talking about. At the same time, your moon is in the fifth house. You want some time off. You definitely want some time off. You want to enjoy the pleasure side of life, the luxury side of life. Okay, I took the pause because it's my daughter. Next, for Sagittariuses. So for Sagittariuses, Mercury is in the sixth house. It's like you no longer want to fight. You no longer want to be aggressive with your reactions. You are just like that. I am going to reply you in one line, and that's all what you deserve. That is going to be the attitude of Sagittarians for this Mercury's transit. Mercury is the lord of your seventh house and your 10th house. Definitely you'll be working on daily basis. You'll be hardworking and on daily basis in regards of your career. Also, this shows that you will be quite dominating with your communication and your command with your colleagues or with the people who work under you in your workspace, because Mercury and Sun gives that. Also, it gives very it makes you more concerned with your nutrition. For some reason, you might have some constipation issues, bloating issues, or issues with your digestion. So, for Mercury, when Mercury enters here, you're going to sort those things out. You're going to work on them. So, health and digestion is going to be the key area. Along with that, you want to get done with your debts. So, you'll be settling down your debts, doing all that math, calculation of money and everything. This could also mean that you might feel that your partner is being a little lazy when it comes to everything. When it comes to everything, they're just being lazy. They are being in their own space. So you might have a bit of arguments with them because of that. Now this is being conjunct with the ninth lord as well, coming into the sixth house. It means whenever a conflict either gets resolved and you gain out of it, your fortune rises because of it, or a conflict arises and your fortune rises. So this also means that you will also get opportunity of work from a distance, or you will get an opportunity of partnership from a distance. Okay, that is also there. And emotionally, you right now feel very homesick or very much connected to your home and your inner space. You want to enjoy that personal time where you can research, where you can read books, where you can just spend some time by yourself, right? So that is what I see for Sagittarius. Now next is Capricorns. So for Capricorns, Mercury is transiting in the fifth house. Definitely you will find interest into investments. You would want to sort your investments out. You would want to work on your investments. This Mercury is being conjunct with Sun, so it is going to also give you knowledge in regards of investments. It could even make you gain through investments. So since we also have Rahu in the second house at the same time, so it's more of like that you are taking your savings and putting that into either shares, investments, or anything like that. But I would suggest you one thing: do not overly exhaust your finances because of Rahu in the second house, because you might need them in emergency. Now, this Mercury is the lord of the sixth house, the ninth house, and being conjunct with the eighth house. So, this is going to play with your head. Okay, you might become quite rigid with your mindset, quite fixed with your mindset and your decisions. So, because of that rigidity, you might not have the best of the results. Because see, sixth and eighth lord is being connected with the fifth house, and then ninth is also there. It is fifth from itself. So it can be that by any chance, by any luck, you can be lucky with those decisions, but there will be an element of discomfort with that, with those decisions. So be very careful, be very cautious while taking any decision, especially if it is financial in nature. Okay. It can also show a very, very sensuous time of romance with someone. Okay. Next, we have the sign of Aquarius. So, for Aquarius individuals, Mercury is transiting in the fourth house. And when Mercury comes into the fourth house, a person just start reading books. Here, since it is the sign of Taurus, you will be reading books on lifestyle, money management, financial growth, how to be successful, how to be millionaires, all of that. You're going to do that. You also would find the urge to beautify your home or work on the details of your home. You would want your home to look like a space which is which is like a fine fancy restaurant or hotel. Alongside, it is royal in looking also. That is something that is, I see prominent changes that you're going to make within your home space. You just want to, and this also shows that you want to relax, you want to have some me time, you want to value your personal time, your me time basically. And since your moon is in the second house, you definitely need a break, definitely need a break. So this also shows me that you would want to travel. You will be able to travel or will not be able to travel, that is what we can see from your chart, but you definitely want to travel. You want to take some time off because there has been a fuss in the family as well. So you just want to get out of it and enjoy your me time, your personal time. You want to acknowledge, observe your own emotions. Although you are being rigid with not accepting the whole part of your emotional understanding, but slowly and steadily, once your mind is free, cluster free, you will be able to understand that. Okay. Next, we have, okay, so one second. So Mercury is the lord of the fifth and the eighth house, and then it is being conjunct with the seventh house. So this could even show a secret romantic encounter that can happen, within your home, regarding your homeland or near your home or within your home, something like that. Also, I'm getting. Okay, but this definitely shows there are changes that you are going to make within your appearance also, and within the structure of your home also. Not just structure, but it could even be just the interiors. Okay. Next, we have the sign of Pisces. So for Pisces individuals, Mercury, just a second. So Mercury is coming in the third house in the sign of Taurus. This could be like you are catching fights with everyone you talk. You're just picking on fights with everyone that you're talking. You are definitely on a rebel mode. You are, also having your Saraswati at the moment. So this is basically playing with your communication. You will now, because Mercury, see, Mercury, when it was in the second house, it was quite impulsive, it was quite independent, it was quite fierce in nature also. Now if it is coming into the third house, it again is a lot like that, but still it's more firm. It's more, it's not the tit for tat energy specifically, but it's something that where you are not being impulsive, but you have thought, you have well thought about everything, and now you are putting up a decision. So this could even give some like you will be giving practical advices to everyone. And this could even talk about some riftness in the relationship of you and your younger sibling. Your younger sibling can act quite for rebel or quite dominating as well. But communication part, communication part is becoming quite fixed here. You're just sitting and you're not willing to be the first one to initiate the communication. Although you might have been that in the past because of Mercury in the second house, but now you are like, no, now I won't. Now I need the other person to approach me. Something like that I'm seeing. This, since it is Mercury, Mercury is about changes, but I do not see that this Mercury is open to change related to their stability of their work. Either it's job or it's a business. They are looking for stability, groundedness, and strong foundation within their work. So they'll be working towards it. It also talks about you either learning technical stuff, you learning about finances, how to multiply, how to use your finances on social media to multiply it or something like that. So it's a lot of communication, suggestions, advices that are going to work around with finances, traditions, culture, lifestyle, everything like that. But it definitely is going to enhance your skills. You're going to work on your skills for some reason. Now, next we have the sign of Aries. So for Aries individuals, this transit of Mercury is happening in the second house. This is definitely the time for you to evaluate your finances, set your budgets, right? And also have a very crystal clear and dominating communication with your family. This is not the time when you are joking around, when you are just you're just actively speaking, you're just fighting, you're putting on a fight. No, it is a clear, composed communication that you are making, that this is what I want, and I'm not going to listen anything apart from it. But this can work really, really well if you are into any business, any work which involves communication and which involves imagination. You will be able to tell the story of your life. You'll be able, like, this is a phase I'm trying to tell you, that you will be able to put your thoughts and ideas into action. And for that, you might be deciding on the numbers, you might be deciding on the investments must be done, and all of that, right? But this time, of course, Mercury is the lord of your third house, the sixth house, and being conjunct with the fifth lord. We also have Ketu in the fifth house itself. So it's a lot about research, forming ideas, and now putting them into action. But after thinking, after evaluating the goods and the bads, after weighing them together, and then only you'll be able to do that. But be very careful with your finances. There is something concerning and alarming that I feel is there with the finances. Either you are going to have gains from investments, sudden gains from investments, or this could be a sudden major expenditure you'll have to take care of. Okay. It is also about you settling down your debts, your money matters. Okay. But definitely it's a very learning oriented time, and also to talk about your learnings, talk and communicate about your learnings. Now, next we have the sign of Taurus. For Taurus individuals, this is happening in the first house. So you will actually feel that you need to gather knowledge and information about so many things. You will definitely have a very fixed approach with your learning, with your understanding. But this Mercury will open those doors to creativity, those doors to creative changes. You might be feeling right now to bake something or to do some cooking, watch cooking shows or cooking channels. That becomes very prominent when Mercury is actually in the ascendant of a person, and it's on the Taurus side, Kritika Nakshatra. It's very evident with that. So these people are foodie. You would want to try different sorts of food, and this also makes you extremely lazy with this Mercury and Sun conjunction in the ascendant. But this makes you have a higher status in life. So maybe you have given some exams, maybe you have applied for a job, now your designation has been elevated. Maybe you have applied for a promotion, now that is elevated. This Mercury is the lord of the second house, it is the lord of the fifth house, and conjunct the fourth house. So all the good houses are, and the Dhan Yog is also being created in your ascendant. So it's a positive time, it's a strong time, and it is a time for you to appreciate yourself, your self efforts. Right. And this is also the time for you to be fixed with your decisions, right? Your understanding. Although I do feel that you are going to gel between where you need to put your understanding in a fixed way and in a mutable way. right? So you're going to manage between both of the factors, but definitely your mind is very concerned with recognition, with fulfillment of your desires, and definitely you will be achieving that. So that is a good thing here. You will be also trying different occupations, like you would have different ideas. Basically, this is not your time to actually initiate them, but definitely you will be planning things out for them, because when Mercury is in the sign of Aries, it's more about initiation, but when it comes to the sign of Taurus, it's all about first writing down the pros and the cons, and then come to the conclusion that how it you should start it. And then in Gemini, it's more about giving some action to it. Okay, preparing basically for the action to it. Now we have the sign of Gemini. So Geminis are going to have this transit in the 12th house. This is a very promiscuous transit. Mercury in the 12th house in the sign of Taurus. It makes a person very experimentative with sexual encounters and also with their inbuilt talents. So either you're going to acknowledge your artistic talent and you're going to work with your artistic talent, you're going to travel to artistic related places, nature related places, and even to finer places like Paris, right? But it also shows that at the same time you will be very, very promiscuous, you'll be very, very flirtatious, because Mercury being in Taurus is they are very they are like, they are not cheesy flirts, they are very sensible flirts rather. Okay, so it's a time that you enjoy your sexual pleasures, that you enjoy your time alone, your alone time, your isolated time. So it's a very sensuous time I see for you guys. This is your first lord and your fourth lord going into the 12th house. Definitely it calls for travel. You will either be traveling for leisure purposes, or you will be traveling so as to settle, or just for a vacation, or some, or just, or for your job as well, for your finances and stuff like that as well. It is also being conjunct with the third lord. This is also an opportunity for you to actually look for the houses. It's like an house hunt I see for you people, that might also be there. Okay. So at the same time, your moon, Venus, and Saturn is in the 10th house. So I see more casuality with the sexual relationships, right? It could even be a person from your you know uh like you instantly meet someone, or it could be someone from your workspace as well. Okay, now lastly we have the sign of Cancer. So for Cancers, Mercury is transiting their 11th house. It is the lord of your 12th house, it is the lord of your third house and the second house. Second lord coming into the uh 11th house, it's actually a good indication. Along with that, we have the third and the 12th lords also there. It means that for your finances to prosper, you will have to take an artistic and um practical approach towards your recognition. If you do not have a job, or you're looking for job, this is the time when you will get certain opportunities to get the job. But this could even talk about starting some commission work, starting some own work as well, right? It is about creativity, because the third and the 12th lord, the house of skills, the house of your inbuilt talents, all of them are getting together in the 11th house. That means you will be appreciated for your skills, not prominently for the career, but your skills. So that is something which you can work around with for the financial part. This is the time you'll be also be calculating your finances. This is a good time that you're going to have with your friends, with your social circle. You would want to have limited but very influential people to be your friends, and you're going to have a great time with them. So that is good. This calls for travel as well. I do see you'll be traveling, and you will also be accumulating a lot of spiritual knowledge by traveling to certain spiritual places. Either you are traveling to certain spiritual places physically, or subconsciously you just want to you just want to learn about spiritual places. So that is what I see for you people. But since 11th house is always the house of gains, the house that gives, so Mercury being here is that, sometimes Sun and Mercury, specifically for a Cancer ascendant being in the 11th house, you may also uh, put down an opportunity. Like, you're not greedy, right? You want to have opportunities, but you're not greedy that you accept any sort of opportunity. So you will accept only the worthy ones. That is what basically this chart is trying to tell. You'll be fixed on your approach, you'll be fixed with your ethical nature, you'll be fixed with what you believe in, and you will select accordingly. You're not open for anything that comes your way. You're very selective with that. And this also means that you might get a luxury stuff, maybe a luxury handbag. Okay, so that's about it, guys. I hope this helps and gives you good insights about this transit. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.